Yeah, let's go! Hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite songs, and today, after pouring so much negativity and hatred into the internet in my last two list videos, I'm going to do Best Songs of 2020, Top 50. And of course, you know me, there's going to be a bunch of honorable mentions, and I'm going to speed them through. Grimes with My Name is Dark. Yeah, edgy and catchy. Against All Logic with Alarm. This is a banger. Iceage with Lockdown Blues. It's topical, yeah, but it's still really good rock song. R.A.P Ferreira with U.D.I.G, aka Universal Defenders of International Goodwill. The swelling orchestra on this track is just crazy. Up next to another topical track that is really well produced and well performed, Paak with Lockdown. Shout out to my man Paak. Then from Iceland, Jónsi, the frontman of Siros with Swill. Really interesting. Deftones with Urantia, probably my favorite track off of their latest album, Ohms. Then we have Open Mike Eagle with the hilarious Headass idiot Shinji. Shinji, get in the turtle! Alright. Of course, the list is not complete without mentioning Thom, Yorke, as well as Burial and Fortet on Her Revolution / His Robe. A bit of an experimental electronic track. Next up, we have the very fun, catchy bbno with Imma, with a very fun music video attached to it and a really cool beat. Next up, Jarvis with house music playing all night, which is pretty interesting track with a deep-pitched vocals and a nice beat. Alright, oh man, I really love this track. Too bad it didn't end up on the list, but it's Kero Bonito with It's Bugsnax. Damn, this song is cute. Alright, up next we have Natalia Lafourcade with her remake of her own song, Hasta la Raíz, with raw vocals and guitars. Up next we have Purr with Avenue Bliss. Yeah, very blissful indeed. We have Blue in Exile with the track Miles Davis. Nice jazzy beat, nice performance. Shamir with Other Side. Damn, this track is spicy. It takes on a very country flavor and it has that fiery flow as well. It's fantastic. Up next we have the Koreatown with Looking Back to the Future. I love the neo-psych instrumental of this track. Great lyrics as well. Name one motherfucker who didn't grow up as an infant. I'm gonna wait. No, I won't. Alexis Marshall, frontman of Daughters, with Nature in 3 movements where he screams and shouts and wrecks and destroys. Of course, I'm gonna love it. Up next, we have the Avalanches with That Divine Chord, featuring MGMT and Johnny Marr. And it's blissful, catchy, fun. Up next, we have Tame Impala's Lost in Yesterday, which is a really solid, also really catchy, sort of a neo-psych song that has a really nice groove to it, really nice. And of course, the list is not complete without me mentioning Lena Raine's Pigstep. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. As if the Nether isn't fire enough, they have to release a friggin' fire track attached to the Nether. And it is awesome, actually. Yeah. Alright. Top 50. Here we go. At number 50, I am giving it to Thundercat with Dragon Ball Durag, which is incredibly sweet, fun, comedic. Yay. At number 49, I am giving it to Lido Pimienta with Nada, featuring Little Salmet. And Lido Pimienta sort of fuses art pop with indigenous Colombian cumbia music, resulting in a really interesting sounding and moving track. Up next at 48, I kind of have to mention it, and that is Klô Pelgag with Melomi. Melo. Forgive me. But yeah, this track is this really crazy, freaky 70s inspired disco track, and it is catchy, it is kooky, it has a lot of personality. At 47, I am giving it to the Dutch-Iranian singer-songwriter Sev Daliza with Lamp Lady, where quality over density because this track is really stripped back, yet it sounds so good. 46, I'm giving it to Tennis with I'll Haunt You. Fantastic album opener. It's really catchy, sweet. I love that dreamy vibe to the track as well. Really great as a tone setter. At number 45, it is Phoebe Bridgers with Kyoto, which is a really catchy and driving indie rock song that's also kind of emotional as well. At number 44, I'm giving it to Denzel Curry and Kenny Beats with Diet _. Fantastic beat with a very interesting sort of glass bottle texture, and Denzel Curry's very growly, shouty voice is fantastic. It fits the beat really, really well. At number 43, very interesting track. Matmos, Nice Men in Stable Relationships, where this is an electronic track, and the first half is this really weird a cappella vocals over this really simple beat, and then suddenly it gets super chopped up and chaotic, and it's just an electronic experience indeed. At number 42, hell yeah, they are back. System of a Down with Protect the Land. Not only does it sound really good and the performance is really solid, but also I love the message. It is an anti-war song for Armenia and also simultaneously for Azerbaijan as well. At number 41, gotta give it to Lingua Ignota with Oh Ruthless Great Divine Director, which is a very sour and dark and just foreboding and ominous track with romantically bitter pianos, fantastic operatic vocals, screams by Lingua Ignota herself, and so cinematic. I love it. Alright, moving over at number 40, it is Black Country New Roads with Science Fair, where, oh my god, second best Lynn tribute act. Another track onto my best songs list. This time, Iceage talks about how he accidentally lit a girl on fire, accidentally with methane gas bubbles in a Cambridge science fair. And it just sounds really great, and, I came for the story, stayed for the great music. Next up, at number 39, I am giving it to Lianne La Havas with Read My Mind. It's sweet, it's dreamy, it's beautiful. I like this even more than the Weird Fishes cover that Lianne La Havas did. I think, it's just a track that I really need in a year where it's just so stressful. It's just full of pain and disasters all around the world. We really desperately need some dreamy, sweet antidote music. Thank you, Lianne La Havas. Alright, 38, it is Quelle Chris and Chris Keys with Sudden Death. And it's actually a very relaxing, chill, low-key piece of neo-soul. This song sounds like an ice pack after you're being punched in the head or in the face, and you're putting the ice on it, and you're like, this is exactly what the song sounds like. Alright, at number 37, I'm giving it to Chloe and Halle with Forgive Me. Seriously, forgive me. Not only is it a really solid album opener, but it is a very catchy R&B track that both appeals to the mainstream yet has the elements that a good modern R&B track should have. A really nice upfront beat, good performances, and just a very engaging and well-structured R&B track in general. Alright, at number 36, this is a really special pick. Ooh, very hip pick as well. Meridian Brothers with Cumbia de los Proletarios. Digital cumbia is a pretty weird genre of music, in my opinion, because it is cumbian music, but with such strange electronic sort of miniature production. It's not really chopped up, but it's all over the place. Kind of reminds me of like a Talking Heads song. And in this track specifically, on top of that, we get this really spooky and ghostly, almost to a point where it's cartoony, but just enough to be fun and weird. And it's just a very interesting track that I just come back to because it's just such a weird combination of styles. Alright, at number 35, I'm giving it to JPEG Mafia with Bald! Exclamation mark. He is bald! Peggy is bald! He's bald! Yeah, great track, cool beat. You know, not one of the best Peggy songs ever, but I still love it a lot. I love the beat, I love the shouty performances, the glitchy production. Peggy is great. Number 34, Nothing Nowhere with Death. This is a friggin' banger. This is what I mean when I say I want to listen to a banger. This is a banger. Crispy, crunchy drums, wild, enraged performances, and at the very end, a wild, angry slash of guitars to end things off. This thing is on fire! And just as fiery at number 33, it is Cakes Da Killa and Proper Villain with Don Dada. Hip house. Originally, I was kind of skeptical of the hip house genre, but Cakes Da Killa, super criminally underrated MC, with Proper Villain coming out with a very bouncy, groovy hip house track that's rough, full of personality, and I like it a lot. At number 32, call me a mainstream pleb, but it is Dua Lipa with Don't Start Now. Not only is it a really catchy song that doesn't try anything cringy, but it has a killer bass riff. Whenever a track has a cool little bass lick, I just can't resist it. I like it immediately. I like bass. Leave me alone. At number 31, I am giving it to Bring Me the Horizon with Teardrops. I totally did not expect myself to one day put Bring Me the Horizon on my best songs list, but here I am, and sure, Teardrops is pretty much a meat and potato sort of emo, screamo, hardcore, alt-rock track with super edgy lyrics and edgy production, but it actually works. It's a very memorable track with very sticky hooks. Everything is very immediate, the verses sound great as well. And the guitar tones, they're all really shrill and upfront, and the performance on top is surprisingly emotional and expressive. At number 30, I'm giving it to the UK pop rock band Everything Everything with Arch Enemy. Yeah, Everything Everything is back with another pop song that has more of a rock aesthetic to it, but ultimately pop. And the melodies and the chord progressions of this track is rather bittersweet, at the same time very sticky and memorable. And I also like the fact that they're not trying to make an explosive pop banger. This track is rather mid-paced, and it takes it slow, but it's very, very memorable and very oddball as well. Alright, at number 29, The Weeknd, In Your Eyes. What can I say? What can I say? Originally I wanted to put Blinding Lights in here, but you know, Blinding Lights is a 2019 track. So whatever, I'll put In Your Eyes, just as great, where The Weeknd is at his artistic peak, where he incorporates elements of 80s music and sort of put it with his own spin, and it's incredibly catchy, first of all. But on top of that, he doesn't abuse the 80s aesthetic. You know, he doesn't make it super gimmicky. He actually utilized that aesthetic really, really well, especially in this track. We even got a nice little saxophone solo in this track. Good for him. Good for Abel. Shout out to Abel. Alright. 28, I am giving it to Disclosure, Amine, and Slow Tie with My High. This track is a banger as well. I really like the immediate, quick, tight, snappy beats of the track produced by Disclosure, and on top of that, Amine and Slow Tie's chemistry. Totally didn't expect it, but it exists, and both of their performances are fantastic on this track. They just feed off of one another with incredibly amazing raw energy, especially on Slow Tie's part. He totally killed it. M&A is a little bit more laid back and a little bit more chilled, but still amazing flows, amazing delivery, and it's a great track. At number 37, I am giving it to The Strokes with The Adults Are Talking. I love At the Door, but the outro is a little bit dragged, whereas The Adults Are Talking is a little better in my opinion. I like how humble it sounds. And then we got these little cute little guitar licks at the sides. It was really nice. Julia Casablanca's vocals. Shoot, I forgot. Forgive me. But his vocals are actually really good, really expressive on top of those guitars. Yeah, really, really cool track. Up next at 26, super underrated, really good song, Adrian Lenker, Anything. Sometimes you just want to quiet down, take a sip of tea, and enjoy the little nuances that is in our world. And this track exactly makes me do that. It's a really quiet folk song that has very beautiful, warm, intimate vocals, lyrics that are very well written, kind of poetic in a sense. And it's just a very beautiful and heartwarming track overall. 25, it's already 25. Of course. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, Intrasport. King Giz, every time they release an album in a year, of course they're gonna end up on the best songs list because they're just a song machine. They just put out good songs left and right. Intrasport is a fantastic song in my opinion because King Gizzard is sort of bringing their usual, microtonal, sort of tribal flavored style into Turkish house music, and it actually works. What the heck? Yeah, this thing is catchy. The lyrics is insane. Sometimes I think about killing certain people. Really, Stu? Really? But yeah, I really like this track. 24, it is Charlie XCX with Forever, where once again it is a very lovey-dovey, warm hyper pop song with very glitchy, noisy, distorted edits, which is actually very interesting and very artistic instead of being gimmicky, and the song itself is also really catchy, so there is that. At number 23, not even a single. I don't think it's a single, or is it? Wait, I think it's a single, but this song, man, I put it on repeat. Trico with Summer Night Town. All the way from Kyoto, Japan. Trico is an indie rock band, and Summer Night Town is exquisite. It is an exquisite rock song where all the band members come together and sort of sing in harmony very beautifully, and we got the guitars, which are really engaging and passionate, but of course with a dash, just a dash of sadness and sourness, and it's just a perfect combo in my opinion. Number 22, I'm giving it to Idols with Mr. Motivator. Like the song suggests, this song motivates me. This song gets me hyped up. I do love myself some forward-thinking hardcore punk track. I just really like that. Alright, at number 21, very fiery, very angry, Code Orange with You and You Alone. The guitars on this thing is just raging. It's flaming. Oh my god, it just constantly crawls and destroy. It's what I want to hear from a metalcore song. The drumming is precise. It's clean. It's crisp. And then we got these glitchy edits, which are very creative and artistic, and suddenly we glitch into this very faint, distant vocal yells, and it's just a very great song in my opinion. Top 20. At number 20, I'm giving it to Eve Toomer with Gospel for a New Century. I don't know why. For an entire year, or for many months, I thought it's Gospel for a New Country, but I just checked like a few days ago and it's Century? What the hell? Mandela effect? Yeah, this is very, charismatic album opener, dare I say, charismatic with its bright horns and the very muddy layered neo soul production with the vocals that are very alluring. The track is a very theatrical introduction, like a gentleman entering the stage and doing a very slick bow. This is exactly what this track sounds like. It just has that theatricality to it that makes it really special. At number 19, one of my most played songs of the year, Dope Body with Sour Apple. This thing is a banger as well, but not a hip-hop banger, a rock banger. This thing is a very fun, optimistic, uplifting, sort of a party punk track with shuffling drums, really just bouncy and very blissful keyboards, and then these vocals that are just so expressive, like, yeah, let's go. You know, it's just so much fun. I haven't had so much fun listening to a song in 2020, but on Sour Apple, damn, I had a lot of fun listening to this track. Alright, at number 19, Run the Jewels, Out of Sight, featuring 2 Chainz. The bass of this track is mixed so high. I think it's the highest, the loudest you can mix a bass to. It just, it burns your ears. And the beat of this thing is bouncy. It's like a punch in the face. The performance is fiery. A lot of chemistry. 2 Chainz lyrics on this thing, kind of smart. The wordplay, it's there. It's on this track. I also like the socio-political consciousness of this track. Alright, at number 17, my most played song of the year, Algiers, There Is No Year. Yeah, again, I wouldn't say this is as good as an irony utility pretext or an underside of power, but There Is No Year is just pure tension. This is such an intense track. The pulsating keyboards, the guitars, it's like I'm being transported into a world, a labyrinth of lies and deceit and corruption, because darkness is lurking in every corner. And the tension, man, you can really feel it from this track. The fantastic vocals from Franklin James Fisher really builds the tension as well. The crazy spamming drums of this track, literally the perfect soundtrack to my school life. So there is that. There is no year. And Algiers, they're kind of right. There is no year. 2020 does not exist, hopefully. Alright, at number 16, I am giving it to Detroit, Michigan band Proto Martyr with June 21st. Proto Martyr is still one of the most criminally underrated bands of our generation. Their music is fantabulous. And June 21st actually came out as my favorite track off of their latest album, even though Michigan Hammers and Worm in Heaven and the Forest are 3 fantastic tracks as well. But this track stands out to me as not only a very rare moment in Proto Martyr's discography where it actually features someone. There's a guest feature on this track, and it's Half Wave. Out of anyone, Half Wave. And Half Wave and Joe Casey duets on this track, and Half Wave's vocals smooth and soothing. Joe Casey masculine and angry and stiff. Together, lots of chemistry, and then we get these very ominous, sort of fading, melting guitars in the back, which adds onto the busyness and the uncertainty of the track. And it's just post-punk in a very artistic and driving manner. The drums as well, it's so tight. It's such a tight drums. I love it. Alright, number 15, one of my favorite pop songs of the year, really. Rina Sawayama with Excess. And this track comments on excess culture, rich people constantly buying things, and then these huge corporations constantly selling things, milking the hell out of these poor factory workers who are responsible for manufacturing these products and these things and organizing these crazy rich events. It comments on these topics really well, and I don't see a lot of pop song comment on this. I just find this track really special message-wise. On top of that, musically, it is extremely catchy, the vocals are actually really good, and production by Clarence Clarity. What can go wrong? What can go wrong? You know, Clarence Clarity, he's a really good producer. Okay, at number 14, oh yes, this thing. Oh, na 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 da 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 na na. This thing is Lost in Paradise by Ali featuring Aklo. It's an anime song. It is actually the song for the end credits, the ED of the latest season of Jujutsu Kaisen. And once again, Ali comes out with another amazing anime song after, you know, the Beastars OP. Now we have this one. If your head is not bobbing and your body is not grooving while listening to this track, what the hell is wrong with you? This thing is a jazzy, blissful, groovy, amazing track. It's just really good. And I also really love how like a lot of these anime ending songs are so blissful and fun. Like a character would be bleeding to death at the end and then this song would play. It's just so ridiculous. And it's so good. It's so good. Alright, and number 13, oh, Lost in Paradise is 14. At number 13, of course, I'm a huge Gorillaz fan. Gotta give it to Gorillaz with Momentary Bliss featuring Slow Tie and Slaves. Slow Tie shows up on the list again. Good for him. Momentary Bliss is also a very forward-thinking punk rock / rap track, and it sort of combines all of those elements together really well. We have the really rough and sort of angry shouts from Slow Tie. We got the very just enraged and energetic guitars from Slaves, and the production from Gorillaz, actually Damon Albarn himself, and this track is probably my favorite one out of their latest album, though I really like Strange Times, don't get me wrong, but this track, it gets me hyped up, it gets me going, it gives me the energy that I need, and it is just a rager that is simultaneously very cartoonish and fun. At number 12, I have to mention her. I'm giving it to Fiona Apple with I Want You to Love Me. Yeah, Fiona Apple, she's back after 7 years of complete silence, and I Want You to Love Me is the opener to her latest album, and it opens off very beautifully because it is a simple piano love song. Fiona Apple manages to achieve a clear balance between the, very nice goodness and the straight up wacky derangedness of this song and other songs on his latest album, and the vocals are fantastic as well. And I know that time is elastic. Great vocals, great pianos, very interesting and attention-grabbing album opener in general. Certainly one of the highlights of the year for me. Also a highlight at number 11, Clipping, Pain Every Day. At first when I heard this song, I'm like, okay, this sounds so weird. It's okay. And the more I listen to it, the more I see its brilliance. The more I hear its brilliance. Because Pain Every Day by Clipping is a track where they go crazy. They go ham. On a 7/8 time signature, incorporating breakbeats and very chopped up samples and vocals, this track is yet a banger. It is a banger in such odd conditions, and the result is so fascinating and so refreshing and innovative to the ears. It's actually very, very impressive. Moving on, we have the top 10 favorite songs of the year. 10 songs that I really enjoy and that I think should have a certain cultural significance in this year. But not only that, even if the song isn't that significant, I still love it for something really, really special. At number 10, I'm giving it to Terrence Martin, Pig Feet, featuring Denzel Curry, Daylight, Kamasi Washington, and G. Perico. Yeah, not only is this track a really great rap song with a great beat, great performances from everyone, and also Kamasi Washington playing the saxophone on it, but also the cultural importance of this track is really important because this is a rap song about police brutality. We even have skits on this track where someone's like, "Yo, what's going on? What's going on?" And then a woman would be crying, saying, "Oh my God, the cop shot this person," and people would get angry. And yeah, I really, really love it when certain songs talk about police brutality, and on top of that, this song has both the anger, the rage, the blunt rage towards this very corrupted and unjust system that not only the USA has, but the rest of the entire world has. Even in my home, even in Hong Kong, police brutality remains a huge issue in Hong Kong as well. And not many people are talking about it in Hong Kong because if an artist talks about it, the government will do things and it's not going to be cool. But yeah, back to this song, Pig Feet. This song has the rage, it has the anger, but at the same time it has the grief. You can hear the grief from the saxophones of Kamasi Washington, where it's like, yeah, we're protesting on the streets, we're angry, but it's not like we wanted this because it came out of a sad origin. And it just perfectly shows that on this track. Also, Denzel Curry's performance. Again, amazing. What can I say? At number 9, I am giving it to Sufjan Stevens' Ativan. And I kind of want to tie with My Rajneesh, because My Rajneesh is a really long, multifaceted, sort of a folktronic epic with a lot of ups and downs, which is just amazing, by the way. But it's not on any music streaming platforms because it's just too good. So I'm also going to tie with Ativan, and I love Ativan. It has this wintry sort of vibe to it that not many songs successfully capture, whether it be the very fuzzy, sputtering beats in the back, the sort of glitchy metal tones on top of that, and Sufjan's very soothing and calming vocals. They all just come together for something warm yet very cold at the same time. And also, the lyrics on this track is some of the most thought-provoking I've came across in all of the songs in the year, because this track is ultimately about believing that you have a greater purpose. And the lyrics are really well written, where Sufjan Stevens beg for finding a meaning in his existence, finding a purpose in all his pains and sufferings, and also other things, of course, and trying to understand that all of his work, all of his suffering did not go in vain. And it really reached that heavenly, sort of angelical climax in these sort of in the last act of the track, where it just swells to a very heavenly and blissful and powerful moment. And once it hits the very, 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 very top, it breaks down into these very busy metallic beats, and it's very cathartic and very beautiful as well. Yeah, I just love it. Number 8, Fleet Foxes' Maestranza. The reason for loving this track is not really that deep or anything. It's not like this track is a single Neither is this track that culturally significant or that philosophical. I just love it for what it is all. Fleet Foxes has always been writing some of the best songs in the 21st century. I mean, come on, Mykonos, Helplessness Blues, The Shrine and Argument, 3rd of May, all these tracks are tracks that, you know, humans just don't deserve because they're just so good. Maestranza is also one of them, except this time Robin Pecknold sort of takes a more straightforward and a more poppy approach to Maestranza. This track has a really blissful, uplifting, very wondrous vibe to it, which is really amazing. And the guitar's detour towards the end sort of adds a bit of bitterness to it. Robin's vocals has always been a great. His vocals has always been great. Number 7, Dan Deacon, Become a Mountain. This song is one of the most beautiful pieces of art I've ever came across in 2020. This song, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if I hear the song in like an A24 art film, like a little indie art film, in a very beautiful, emotional, moving moment, and then this song starts playing. I wouldn't be surprised, because this song captures a sense of naivety, a sense of humility that a lot of the songs kind of avoid capturing. This song, with the bubbling pianos, and these bubbling pianos, they build up higher and higher and higher and higher, and it reaches a heavenly, holy level. And these piano keys, they're just raining on the sky from left to right, and they're so colorful, they're so bright. It's an imagery that's so amazing. There's just something so powerful and moving about it, yet so naive. It's like looking at the world all over again. It's like being born again and exploring the world all over again. It's quite a cinematic experience, honestly. Okay, at number 6. Joji, Run. My man Joji. I'm so happy for him. I mean, he went from internet legend to musical, I wouldn't say legend, but musical genius. Run is actually my favorite Joji song that I've heard. I'm not super familiar with his work, but out of all the Joji songs I've heard, Run is the best. It is very moving, very emotional, but it's not one of those tracks where everything's super quiet and stripped back and it's very boring. No, there's that constant engaging beat that makes it really driving, guitars and bass that are actually really sad. Like, you can really hear the sadness from the guitars and the bass of this track. And Joji's vocals are just as sad. We got the good old guitar solo at the end, which actually fits the track really well. It doesn't botch it. It adds onto the emotional power of this track a lot, in my opinion. And there's just something about it that makes it so good. I think it's because normally when a person is really, really sad and downtrodden, it's not like, oh my god, the world is crumbling, it's all silent. But no, when you're sad, you still have to move on with life. The world continues to spin around. So you have to walk, you have to run. Alright. Top 5. I know this year is really rough. That's why I got a lot of sad songs on the on my list. Chris Stapleton with Cold. I love a good old heartbreak song, but Chris Stapleton sort of tackles it in a way. It's so raw emotionally. It's brilliant, first of all. Second of all, it's a country flavored track, but it doesn't take away from the emotional potency of the track at all. Chris Stapleton's vocals, holy shit, this guy is screaming and crying on this track for real. There's some real hardcore emotions on this track. There are ups and downs. Ups where it's cries for help. Downs where it's really dejected and sad and lonely. And it's another fantastic sad song with these strings in the back that swells, and it's just like, man. Number 4, my favorite Perfume Genius song ever, On the Floor. I love Queen. I love that other song that he did in 2017. But On the Floor is actually my favorite. I love On the Floor. It is also a love song. And it's a really danceable and groovy and summery one at that. The guitars on this thing are so flowing. They're so... like they're like water in a river, because they're constantly running and they're constantly flowing, and it's so sweet and blissful. And On the Floor is an absolutely heartfelt love song where Perfume Genius tackles love, not as in, obsession and infatuation, but in a way it's a disease. Love is a disease on this album, on this track. Again, it hit me. It hit me. Maybe because I'm an old man, okay? Maybe it's because I'm old, but oh my god. On the floor, I pace, I run my mouth, I pray and wait, I cross out his name on the page. Yeah, I just love it so much. Alright, number three, Jessie Ware, Spotlight. Yeah, this is just a pure 6-minute long, pure disco heaven is what this track is. So catchy, so groovy, at the same time so pristine, so luxurious, so alluring, so enchanting, so calming, yet so danceable, yet so fiery. It's the perfect balance, man. It's the perfect balance. I just love this track. It has a really nice forlorn intro, and then we get the very deep, sort of nuanced beat in the back, and Jessie Ware's really soothing, alluring vocals on top. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to explain how much I love this song, but I can't really pull out like a solid argument, like, oh, this song is this and has that and this. No, I just love it. Period. You know how usually songs that are long are kind of, like, why is it so long? Why is it so long? But when I listen to this track, I'm like, damn, I wish for more. I want more. That's all I want to say. Okay. Oh my god. Number two. HMLTD, Satan, Luella, and I. This track, I know this track is released in 2017, but it's so damn good. It's so damn great. I have to put it at number 2. HMLTD's Satan, Luella, and I is a gothic flavored glam pop rock epic where we get the most flamboyant vocals and the most groovy and driving pianos and guitars, and these, again, very gothic, sort of gospel-esque female harmony vocals in the back. It's so eccentric, it's so wacky. The moment I listened to the song the first time, I immediately fell in love with it, and it stuck on the top 3 of my best songs list for the entire year until now, and it still is at number 2. And yeah, it's just so frenzy as well. We got the glitchy productions towards the end, a fake out bridge, and a very climactic final swell that is really spectacular, honestly. And we have very interesting lyrics making observations about, the society where, some people just confusing one thing for another, and this track kind of addresses that, but in a very cartoonish and in a very deranged, like psychotic way. And it has a lot of personality. It is one of the most memorable tracks I've heard this year, and also one of the most well performed. Alright, I know I've talked enough. Number 1, drumroll please. Aoba-Ichigo Kaitei no Eden. Aoba-Ichigo from Tokyo, Japan. Kaitei no Eden, or Seabed Eden. I bet none of you, I bet not a single one of you expected me to put this song as number 1. I myself didn't. Usually when I look for songs that are number 1 of the year, usually they are long songs that are epic, that have a very complicated structure with crazy performances, crazy lyrics, and a very epic message, but no. Seabed Eden. Out of all the songs I've heard in 2020, not a single song hit me like this one. Not a single song hit me in the heart like this one did. Not a single song moved me as emotionally and captured me as much as this one. This song is magical in a sense because it's so quiet. The silence is deafening. Because in this song we only get 2 things. Keyboards and Ichiko Aoba's vocals, or Aoba Ichiko if you're saying her name in the Japanese / Asian way, because family name comes first. But yeah, Ichiko. Her vocals are soothing, first of all, very soothing, but not to a point where it's very flowery. There's a almost amateurish quality to it that makes it very real and raw. The keyboards, they are very quiet. They're slow. They're painful. They're sad. They're downtrodden. And they're dejected. Yet, there's a side to the pianos, the keyboards, that's dreamy and nostalgic. That's what I really love about the chord progression of this track. It's magical. It's enchanting because it is both sad and downtrodden, at the same time nostalgic and dreamy, like a person who's dying tries to save himself by sending his own mind to a happy moment, trying to remember the happiest moments in his life right before his death. This is what the song sounds like to me, is trying to say goodbye, trying to say farewell to all the happy memories. Try to understand that they're great and try to learn that I should be happy that they happened, but yet I'm sad that it's over. This song really moved me emotionally again, in a way, because 2020 is a really special year for me because the first month is the last month. The first month of 2020 is the last month for me in school, and I miss school a lot, and school is pure suffering for me, and not in the way you think, and I don't want to elaborate on that right now, but if you have seen my other videos, you know why school is such a hellish place for me. Again, not for the right reasons at all, and yet I love school so much because of the people and what it symbolizes, and to force myself to move on from that is an incredibly painful process. And this song kind of reminds me that. And it sort of sympathizes me on that. And yeah, it's so beautiful. It's so gorgeous. This song is so, it's a piece of art. And it just sinks you down. It sucks you in, sinks you down, captures you, and swallows you whole. It's that powerful of a song, in my opinion. So yeah, what's your favorite song of the year? Comments below, let me know. Thanks for watching.